got a little tripod stand for this now. The package came in a day early, so let's go ahead and get started on this. First thing, because it's in the way right here, I'm going to have to take this piece apart. So once I get this out of the way, I'll take the cover off and then we'll get back to it from there. We've got to take these clutch springs off, pull this out, and we will pull these clutch discs out. So let's get started on that, and we will go from there. Got all those taken out. I don't remember what these are called, but a couple of rings that's supposed to go in the back. I'm going to go ahead and put them on there because they need to be there anyways. So there's that. And then these clutch discs. Got a little bit of scoring on the back of that one. It's not too bad. It's not dug in or anything. Yeah, say that. Maybe it is a little bit. But we're going to go ahead and run it as is, because I don't have these plates. So we're going to start alternating these and getting them all in there. They look in pretty good shape. As far as the clutch discs go, I mean, they don't look terrible. So why the clutch was slipping is beyond me. I still see a lot of clutch material on them. Maybe the springs was just getting weak and not doing their job, but Alright, so we got those all in there. Clutch is all put in there correctly. So On this one, I don't know if it's the same way on all motorcycles, but you start with your friction material, then lay your steel, and then you'll end up with a friction material at the end. I would assume that it's pretty similar with all the bikes, but you know. Also on mine, I do have a different style exhaust setup than what I've seen on any other Honda Magnas. I cannot even find a picture of this exhaust setup on a Magna. If anybody knows any information about this exhaust system, I would love to know, because I have yet to see another one just like it. With that being said, I don't know if this is the same on other Magnas or not, but this bolt right here, as y'all probably saw, I was having a trouble getting to it while this piece was on. It was just creating a little spot where I just could not get on the bolt to get it out. So that was one issue that I had. Alright, so got a torque wrench. It calls for 9 foot-pounds. Here we go. While I was out, I got a little scraper, so we're going to scrape all this old gasket material off. Alright, got the bolts torqued down. They're 9 foot-pounds. I think I've already showed you that. Got all the gasket material cleaned up. And all the gasket material cleaned up off of this. So now the next step is I have some gasket material that we're going to make a gasket to fit this. Alright, so new plan. This gasket material is not going to work very well. It just doesn't quite fit. It's just too, I mean, it could probably work, but it's just, this is too big of an object with too thin of a material. This really needs to be cut, like a pre-cut gasket to work properly. So after all that time spent on doing that, we're just gonna ditch that. So I know, probably unpopular opinion, but we're gonna end up just using this. You've got to use this in a couple of areas anyways. Anytime that you have a split in the case, like right here, this is a lower part, this is an upper part of this case, you have to put some silicone right there or it's going to leak. And the same thing with right here. This thing would have silicone on it either way. So I'm going to run a very, very tiny bead of silicone along this right here. And then we'll get this case put on. Alright, so I've got a real thin layer on all the way around. So So now we're going to set that thing up there and bolt it into place. Now on this one, keep in mind there is a dowel pin here and here, or a locating pin. So we're going to, apparently not very carefully, set that up there on that locating pin. And how's that thing not sitting up? There we go. Alright, and we got our bolts. A couple of these bolts, they didn't quite feel right. This one ended up working out, but this bolt here didn't seem to want to tighten up. It feels like it might be stripped right here. I don't know, so I'm just going to stop right there. All right, there we go. Clutch cover is on. Now I've got to put this side piece on, put the peg on. I forgot to put these under there. I'll have to do that, and we'll be done. Alright, so this bolt here, it pulled the threads out of the thing. I was tightening this up and I heard a loud pop, and now it just spins freely. So I'm going to have to helicoil that one. No big deal. And then all the rest of them's in there. There is some that's like different lengths. This one here for sure has to be a smaller bolt. It runs into this other bolt here, so you have to use a short bolt. And I think it was the same way on this one here. There was one of them down here that was a longer bolt, so just pay attention to how you take them out and put them back in the same way. Alright, got all this put back in. Got the brake lever working. Got this all taken care of. Only thing left to do is fill it with some oil. And that should be it. This is the oil that I am using. This is 4T 20W50 mineral oil. I got about 3.3 quarts in here, so that should be it. I am going to fix this. I'm going to helicoil this. I'm going to fix that. There was a couple more that didn't want to tighten up all the way. If I was to do this again, I would not do 9 foot-pounds. I would just use this and just snug it down. I think 9 foot-pounds is a little much on this, but that's what it called for. I just find it a little odd that this little, I don't know, 6mm bolt hook the same amount of torque as an 8mm bolt that holds the clutch in. So I think that was a little excessive.
Alright, doing a little preliminary run after doing the clutch and the speedometer. It works, finally. I can finally see how fast I'm going. The clutch feels great. The clutch, as far as the squeeze on the clutch, it's a lot firmer than what it was. So I don't think my problem was necessarily the clutch. I think my problem was the actual springs. Because right now it feels great. We'll do a couple little speed runs here, see what it does. At low speed, it didn't have any problem biting. For some reason, it was running out of at the top end. It starts slipping really bad. All right, here we go. Did not slip once at all. Ignore that. We're doing the actual speed limit. We did not exceed the speed limit, I promise. There we go. 55, that was 55 miles an hour. That's what we did.
All right. I think that's going to do it for this video. Because if I was to do this video and the forks and everything else, would probably be a 30-40 minute long video. And yeah, I don't think y'all want to watch a 40-minute long video. So we're going to tackle the fork seals next, and I will see y'all on the next video. Bye.